Conquering Hot Scrapper with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here for the second time today, I might add, with another episode of the Community Round Robin. Now we're doing Block 2, Round 1, and I'm showing you how today how to do the cornerstones. Now that PDF is going to be in our show notes below, and we're going to show you some fun, cute little ideas that I thought, okay, this would be perfect to use up little bits and whatnot in your sewing room. And it's going to, this is what the block we're going to make out of this PDF. We want to show you, this is block 1. These are rounds 1 and 2 together. They're all finished. Michelle's block from Bits and Pieces here was just lovely with the little barn. Now, on the other video, we're talking to you about the March of the Creatives. That's the hard version, right? And the intermediate version is Love is Love, and that's 2 hearts, you know, moving together. They kind of look like lips, you know, oversized lips, but they're a lot of fun. They're just a lot of fun. And then for the beginner level, we're doing hearts. Just simple hearts for patchwork. Now, if you're a beginner, don't worry about these. These are very easy to do, and that video explains how to, the other video that dropped today talks about how to make these. So it will be fun. But we are going to do some foundation paper piecing, because all of the rounds have this as a cornerstone. So you need to know how to do the cornerstone. It's a little bit of foundation paper piecing and a little bit of string piecing all wrapped up into one. So it's going to be fun. But first, let's get to our shout out. Let's get to our shout out. Jana from Jana's Quilting needs some love and encouragement. So go tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. She doesn't know the shout out is coming. So we're kind of excited to give it to her. The other thing you're going to find in the show notes, besides her YouTube channel and of course the PDF patterns for the cornerstones, is the schedule for the Community Round Robin. Now that schedule will tell you where to go next, or whose channel to go to next, and approximately what day they're going to be dropping those videos so that you can watch there. Now we do ask you to subscribe to them if you are picking up those patterns. It's a free pattern for everybody, right? So it was a wonderful group to work with, and those blocks we created were beautiful. And we do encourage you to use your stash or your fabric crumbs or your, you know, and your scraps. Like, don't go shopping, right? Use what you have. There's no specialty tools. There's none of that. So it'll be a lot of fun. The Facebook group we have in there as well, and that Facebook group is warm and welcoming. We have a virtual sewing room for the Facebook group under Discord, and we are trying our best. Facebook shut down all the big rooms, so we had to move to another app, and it's the ladies that are participating in that Discord sewing room are having a wonderful time in there. So that's something to keep in mind. We have all sorts of fabric, like community chats going on. There's fabric swaps by country. There's recipes. There's, you know, what to do, how to organize your scraps. Different people are showing different things. Where to find free patterns. It's all sorts of fun, different chatter that's going on in those groups. And I try to follow as much as I can, but life here has been busy this summer. Also, we have Zoom sew dates listed from now until the end of December that you can come because you're a viewer, and you can come and sew and hang out with us for the day. It's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm, you know, either in Alberta, Canada, or Tucson, Arizona, and it is just a lot of fun for the day. We do a lot of show and tell. We try and talk to everybody that's there, and we just have a good time. I get a lot done those days too. Now, excuse me, I speak for free to quilting groups and quilting guilds. We were doing that as part of the pandemic, and, you know, because the guilds were having a lot of problems, and some of the groups were having problems because they weren't able to meet or whatever. I do it over Zoom, so they have to have Zoom capability, and I talk about using your fabric scraps, elements of design, charity quilts, and it's about a 40-minute presentation. I take questions and answers afterwards. I have met so many amazing and talented people doing that. I am so inspired by all of them. It is just wonderful. So if that's what your quilting group or your quilting guild is looking for, put my name forward. I'd be happy to come talk to them. Anyways, let's come on in here. Let's get this sewing done. Okay, So I have the sewing machine with a bunch of stuff. So what we're teaching you now is this cornerstone. Basically, I put strings together or crumbs, right? Because just tiny, like, and you can see the pins because I've got this all sewn on with my second border, so I can't show you the second border yet. So all of the options have this as their cornerstone. Now, if you're a true beginner and you have never done foundation paper piece and this intimidates you, please use just one of the heart patches. You know, just make 4 extra heart patches for your blocks to go all the way around, and this will look darling. So the heart patches I'm talking about are these, except you just, all you need is a 3.5 inch unfinished square to go in your cornerstones, and you could put it in there like that. That would look fine. So like I say, we don't want to scare away the beginners. So we decided, okay, we would give them a whole bunch of options. Now, this one is, this is just cute. So I decided, okay, let's work with this. Now, this came together just really quick, and I thought, ooh, this would be perfect to use up all those bits. So what I've already done with this, and like I say, we did the cornerstones, and I've already scored them with my tracing wheel, right? So this, I don't know if you can see the marks on that tracing wheel, from the back, but basically we want to sew our strings only in this area here, right? So let me grab a pencil. So this is where our strings are gonna go, right in here, and all the way down up here, just across like this and this. There you go. That's all you have to do with your strings. And it's a small little area, and I picked up a bunch of different fun things. This basically is the block we're looking at, and it's just, I don't know, I think they're cute. I just, you know, with all these little things going on, I figured, all right, let's do this. Now, I tried to pick stuff that was smaller, and I thought, okay, we can do smaller. Now, you want those first blocks to kind of go across, you know, like in a good, give yourself some, you know, good over, you know, parts, you know, make sure that it goes over enough, right? And let's see, oh, this one, oh no, this one, okay. So I now have lots of overage right there, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. I'm just going to move some of this out of the way because, wow, what a mess. And I've got the wrong foot on. Yeah, we're happy about this today. I was so happy I was so excited to film this today. I was just like, wow, you know, it's so nice when I, you know, sew something like this and you got something going on that's kind of different, and, you know, it's going to make you happy. And I thought, okay, so now we want to sew a 1/4 inch seam across that. We can move this down just a hair. There we go. And we're just going to go right across here like so. I'm going to go past that. Okay, and we're stop. All right. Now the other side, we're going to, like I say, we're going to do the top of these first. And I wanted to get something a little on the wild side. Ooh, 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 this would look good. All right, let's get this together. Okay. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this, playing around with this one and trying to get it to come together. Anyways, okay, so we just move this out of the way, and I have my other foot on, so I have, if I line those two cloths up, I can get a pretty reasonable 1/4 inch seam out of that. So, and that works for me. That works for what we're doing here. Never sew it from this side, because then, you know, you lose all your marks, right? So you got to sew it from the other side, because basically you're putting fabric, you're making fabric to go here. Now I'm going to do, ooh, some of this, this would be great. This is some of that African print that was just gorgeous, African print that my girlfriend gave me. She just gave me little bits and bobs of it, and I thought, ooh, this would be so nice. Okay, get through there. Okay, and there we go. So basically you're mixing up all your reds. So now the top is done, because I've got good coverage way over, I'm going to put this long, oh no, I'm going to put this piece in. Oh, I could do, wait a minute. Oh, this would be perfect. Right here. So I'm going to just do 3 pieces on the one side, because I found something that would be fun and perfect. But you do you best, you know. Like, I love doing string blocks. I love the look of string blocks when they're done, right? Because I just find they're just really cool. Now, I have a lot of this in my stash, my crumb stash, so I am going to do this, just like so. There. There. Okay. And I think we're done the hearts. Okay. Yeah, it was... You know, I was sitting putting my makeup on this morning. I thought I could do 2 videos and explain how to do this and how to do that. So now we've got good coverage all the way on both sides, up to top and bottom, and we're good across. So now what we're going to do is we're going to trim up this piece, and so we've got A1 done. Essentially, is what we've done. Is we've got A1 done. So we're gonna just trim this and. I use the same fabric throughout and I'm going to do A3 right away, because that's just a little bit of fabric that we need there. And I'm going to do A4, trim on that side, just to make sure that all my stuff is there, perfectly laid out. There we go. I'm a little shy, but I'm still within that 1/8 of an inch. I've got more than an 1/8 of an inch, so I'm good. So I'm good. I don't have to worry about it. Just like we're talking like not even a 1/16 of an inch short right there. I've just got a little divot, but I'm good. I'm good with that. And I'm going to do A2 right away as well. Okay, so now we are done with the reds, I believe, on both of them. So I'm just going to put all this back into my red crumbs. Now, if you're doing a bunch of them, like, you need a lot of little red crumbs, right? Because you want to, you know, play with your fabric and have, you know, good time with it. And it should be fun. This should be a fun thing to do. Okay, I'm just going to cut a strip here like so. And I'm going to cut a piece like that and like that, just to do those mini corners, you know, those tiny little corners at the top, the peak. And I'm just going to put that to the side. Okay, so A2 there. I'm just going to lay this down just like so, and all A2, wait a minute, A2 or A3? A2. All A2 does is just creates a bit of rounding. And that's what you need on your heart. And you just go there like so, and then you stop. And now we trim the other one. Okay, get that. Clean up this. Wow. Okay, so we press this one down. Now, B4. Okay, I'm going to trim B4. There. Basically now you're just trimming all of the areas around the heart so that you can get, you know, the right shape, because now you're done with the red. You're just going to keep adding white, right? So that's fine. That works. Okay, and B5. There we go. Just like that. B3 is next. There. And these are crumbs. These are my tiniest crumbs of red. So I decided I can play with my crumbs. I can do stuff with my crumbs. It's all good. And there's my B2. There we go. Okay. So now B2 is here, and I'm going to sew just a little bit, a little thing here. Okay. And it's just a short little seam. And I want to make sure I'm in the... Yep, okay. It's just a short little seam. There we go, just like that. And now we're going to take this off. And so A3, which is, like I say, you're supposed to press in between. And I can press in between, that's fine. But I find my nail finger pressing them sometimes just in place is enough to put it in the right spot where it needs to be. Okay, and there we go. Oh, that's a little, okay, well that's fine. That's fine. Alright, now last one, A3 goes on this side, right up here. Right up here. Okay. Okay, pull that out. Oops, just a bit. Loosen it up a bit just to pull it. Okay, and there. Now, you can do either A5 or A4 first. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, because those don't have overlapping. But what I would suggest is that you measure. Now there's a ruler here, and it's about 2 inches because you want a little bit hanging off this side. So it's a 2-inch piece that you want to cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a 2-inch swath off both sides, and 2-inch is about there. Just rough cut it. You don't need to be precise. You don't have to have all this crazy precision, you know, because that's what foundation paper piecing basically takes. All the, you know, like you have just, you know, you can sit and just do, right? That's the nice part about foundation paper piecing. Now you do A4, and I want to make sure this piece gets trimmed correctly, so I know where I'm at on A4. And I'm going to take A4 and just roll it like that. Now they say 1/2 inch to, you know, like, I don't know, 1/4 inch over on both sides. You know, that works. That works perfectly. So now I'm going to put this right through and go all the way along A4 on this side. I call them A4. This one's this one here is A4. This one's B4. Okay, so now get this out of the way. There we go, and we trim up B4. I always keep forgetting that one is called one thing and the other one's called another thing. There. Okay. I do so much of this that I don't really think about this anymore. So, okay, so here we go. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we got to do A5. That's our last piece that's coming up. There, you guys are all sitting there. Yay! The last piece. Okay. Now, the last piece here, let's flip this over, is 1.5 inches. You'll need a 2-inch block. You'll need a 2-inch piece, right? So let's just cut off another 2-inch piece and measure it out. Just rough cut. That's all you need. You need to just rough cut stuff. Okay, that's going to make it big enough, right? And 2 inches the other way, which is there. That's a little bit bigger, but that's okay. Okay, so A5. Now we want to make sure that we've got a good line that we can lay out A5 on, right? And just trim off that little white bit. And now we're going to take this and we're going to turn it like that. Just like that. Okay. Under, oops. There. And then B5 comes next. As that gets pushed out of the way. Okay, there we go. Just, yeah, this is kind of a sew, trim, press, sew, trim, press. That's the rhythm of this. And it's really important that, you know, sometimes you have that rhythm going. So there it is. There's our line. Everything's working out really good. Okay. Now, okay, all of this is sewn and it looks good, right? Now you have to trim this. Now you don't trim with this ruler because your fingers are way too close to that blade, that rotary cutting blade. So I always tell people, I said, you lay out your work, you get a real ruler, and you mark the 1/4 inch line on the inner line. There's 2 lines around the outside, and you want the inner line to have your 1/4 inch line. Just in case there was some distortion with your printing or something like that, at least now you have a 1/4 inch seam going around the work, right? Okay, here we go. Now, we're just cutting it like this, and we're flipping it over. So that's the one side. Now we're going to get the other side off the sewing machine. Okay, trim that. Like I said, giving it a good press sometimes really helps with all the bits that hang on to these things. Here we go. Just like that. And line up your ruler on that 1/4 inch. Here we go. Nice. And on this side. Now I know this one has little peaks and whatnot too, you know, that it's kind of a rounded peak area here. Don't worry about that. Not for now. Okay, so this, now you've got to get these 2 together. How are we going to do that? I always suggest pinning, especially this is small. We want to pin, right? And I know some people are like, oh my goodness, Brenda's pinning. It's not that bad. None of your seams are lining up either, because that's the beauty of strings, right? None of your seams are lining up. So what you want to do, start up first, is you want right in the top peak. You want to go right into that, and then on the other side, you want to come up with your fabric absolutely flat, just like that. Oops, just come on. There we go. Just like that. Right in that peak, right? That's your first pin. Now, if you pin it, you sometimes you distort it. So, like if you bend your pin over. Now, the next place you want to get is right where that B5 and B1 line up. Just where they intersect. Okay, at the bottom. And then you want to go through A5 and A1 where it intersects on the outside edge. That's your 3rd pin, right? Because that's the point you want to match to get your heart to have that perfect point on the cleavage, right? Now, the 3rd pin, oops, forgot to get another pin. Okay, the 3rd pin, you want to start from this side, and you want to match up the point right at the end where B4 and B1 meet, and then you want to come out the other side. Oops. Here we go. Right where A1 and A4 meet. That's where you're pinning. Those are your marks where you have to meet. Now, these pins might look a little wobbly, but you now have pinned in all the right spots. So now what I do is I cheat. As soon as I start pulling stuff out, everything wobbles, right? And I want it to stay flat. So I put another pin this way, so this will stay flat. And you can put, you know, another one if you want as well, down a little closer to the far end, because this is the end you're running in through. So this is your first pin you're going to pull, right? So put another one in, why not? So with all of this, right now, I can start pulling my pin out here, and I know exactly where it's going to be. Okay, well, I want to line this up. Yes, we've got the perfect place for that pin. I pull the second one out so it lies a little flatter, and I go up to my pin, and as I get up closer to my pins that are lying flat, because I still got one going up and down, right? I pull them out, And I'm holding the vertical one up. And, okay, now we just go all the way to this and we pull it out last second. So that's how you make them pin together. Now, because I've got the little marks here, I'm going to cut this off like so, and then cut it in deep. Cut this in deep, oops, in deep here, and then cut this off like so, just like that. Now I'm going to open this up. I'm going to press this open because that's how it lies flat. Okay, just press it open. And oof, oof, oof. I'm going to run my stay stitching all the way around the outside, inside the seam allowance that I've set up. Right? Because that's important. And then pivot. And when you're sewing over that seam allowance, you want that seam allowance to stay open. There we go, pivot again. Down. And I'm going to get this off. Okay. There we go. You pivot with your needle down always. That's important to do. And now you have a block that is 3.5 by 3.5 unfinished. That is just picture perfect cute. So let's get to our big ta-da moment. So here's our cute little cornerstone that we made. Now I decided I was going to leave my backgrounds on my quilt white, or like white on white tone, so that's what I use. But if you want to throw in like cream or bone colors in there, you know, you could add, you know, a few here and there and all over, and it would make it a fun scrappy quilt. But I just love these. And you know, like I say, it's a 3.5 unfinished block. And it's just adorable. Now, if you're a true beginner and you've never done the foundation paper piecing before, you can try just one. Try to do one. But if you're not able to do one, you can substitute this with just the patchwork block, the patchwork heart. Not the sides, but just the heart itself. And it would work perfectly in there because it's a 3.5-inch square. So I wanted to give you guys some options, and we didn't want to scare away the beginners. So I do hope you give this a try and everything is going great for you in your sewing room and life is just treating you well. You got to go to for the next round on this block. You have to go to FutureCat. So I do hope you have a special week ahead. Okay, take care until we meet each other again. Okay, bye. Hello again. We just want to thank you for enjoying our video and, you know, coming along with my husband and my YouTube adventure and quilting. And, you know, sometimes things don't work out as best they should, and sometimes they work out great. We're going, wow, that went well. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. Share, like, and subscribe these videos. That really helps us out, and it helps us make more charity quilts, okay? So you guys take care until we have a chance to meet again, okay? Bye!